Nice. Okay, seriously, people, gloves. People are just dumping their gloves. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I'm trying to figure out what it means to live a sustainable life and making right decisions for the planet, for the environment, and for people around us. I was talking to my friend the other day and she told me, how about you make a video about how to stay eco-friendly, zero waste and sustainable during the current situation. But to be honest, I don't know myself how to keep my old habits in these current situations. Yeah, some habits I can still carry on, like doing composting, recycling and other things, but some habits are harder to keep. For example, before that, when I would go to the store, I would choose a specific store where I can get produce without packaging. When I buy certain things, I would look into supporting some sustainable companies, into buying things that are without packaging or have good packaging. But right now, when I'm limited to what stores I can go, because some stores have empty shelves, some stores have lines of people queuing out there, so basically I have to go to some other stores. So I don't have much choice, so it's really hard to stay sustainable. And I thought it's okay that some of us can't stay sustainable during these times, but at the same time, it's not an excuse not to do anything. So what I did, I went online and I researched some tips that other people share, what we all can choose to do in terms of supporting the economy, supporting the environment, supporting the business, and trying to be more sustainable as well. Let me start with tip number one, and this particular tip actually comes from me. I understand in these uncertain times when we are advised to wash our hands, sanitize our hands, use like gloves to go to the supermarket, use masks and all the rest. And I'm not advising you against that, but I want you to be conscious. Every time you buy rubber gloves, you use them just to do shopping in the supermarket, and then you leave the supermarket and throw it away. And then the next day you go to the supermarket again, use gloves again. Every time you do it, you just accumulate the garbage. So my suggestion is, as much as I don't want to get sick myself, don't want to spread this to other people, I always ask myself, is that the only way? Or, for example, I can actually just wash my hands and just buy a bar soap. Or if I feel like I need a sanitizer, I just buy a bigger bottle, and instead of using, 5 tiny bottles, the plastic packaging that's gonna go to the landfill, I keep one big one. Some people might use the disposable wipes. Maybe it's a better thing to buy a giant bottle of rubbing alcohol, just put it in the spray bottle and just spray things. Again, I'm not advising you not to be safe, but I'm advising you not to go crazy with disposable items. It's really sad that in this particular critical situation, we just increase the numbers of waste by those things. If I had to wear a mask, I would buy a reusable mask that can be washed and reused several times. I'm not using any gloves to go to the supermarket. I just sanitize my hands before that. I sanitize my hands after that. And in the situation when I can just wash my hands with soap at home, I'm just doing that. And again, if you buy a soap, you either use a bar soap because it's better because it doesn't have any extra unnecessary packaging, or we buy soap refills that come in the bigger bags, just like gallon bags or something like that, instead of buying small plastic bottles every time. Next tip will be about economy. I understand right now, especially in United States and other countries that have quarantine for a long time, people are losing jobs, people have less income and so forth. But unless your situation is completely critical, remember to support the economy, because in this situation, it's even more than ever important that we support each other. What do I mean by this support? First, smaller companies are in bigger risks than bigger companies, bigger corporations. So when you're purchasing something, buying something, you're still going to buy something, groceries or any other items, choose to support the right businesses and the right companies. If you have an option to support local businesses, small community initiatives, go and support those, because those guys are really suffering. Let's say when you want to go and get a takeout, there is a big difference if you're getting this takeout from McDonald's or you're getting it from your local store, because those local mom and pop stores need more support than bigger corporations. I don't want you to go against bigger corporations, but I hope you understand what I mean. Second, if your situation allows, leave generous tips, especially to people who are working right now in delivery, mailmen, who are working as taxi drivers or in public transport, bus drivers, and so on. People who are working in restaurants, dealing with customer orders or cooking. I even saw some pictures when people would leave some gift cards to their mailman. So if you have a financial situation to support these people, it's a great time to do so. You can either leave tips in terms of money, or maybe you can give them tips in terms of gift cards. The gift cards, though, it's a tricky story. I saw this picture when people were proud because they left a Starbucks gift card to their mailman. But when leaving a gift card, think of the fact that maybe this mailman's family doesn't need extra coffee right now, especially expensive coffee from the Starbucks. Maybe leave a gift card to the grocery store, to the supermarket, to Amazon, to some other places where they can actually get essentials, not a freakishly expensive and not the best coffee. How else you can support other businesses? Let's say you need to cancel something. Let's say you had tickets to the concert. Consider canceling the ticket but keeping the money inside the company. Let's say when the whole situation is over, you're going to use this credit towards something else. Businesses are really hurt right now when they have to issue refunds. I understand you also are influenced by this situation because you're not getting the services you are provided, but unless you're really hurting to get this refund, think of keeping this money in the business and just obtaining the service a little bit later when the whole situation will be better for everyone. Let's say you had subscription to some, artist, and right now, you feel like this artist is not doing as much as he did before. Maybe you had some tickets to museums or anything like that, especially if this business is not a commercial company, but more like educational or entertainment or something where people will be hurting the most right now. Consider not getting your money back at all, just feel it as a donation to this particular organization. Obviously, you have to judge in every particular situation your financial means and also what kind of business you're supporting, but especially when it's something, as I said, non-commercial, like NGOs or anything, keep supporting them. My third tip, it will be more about attitudes. Sometimes I see people focusing on their own situation and how they are limited by the situation, but you have to understand that people around you in the same situation, businesses are in the same situation, any organization will be in the same situation, and some will be hurt worse or slightly better if it can be anything better. But the attitude should be, okay, we are in a bad situation, but let's be positive, let's stay calm, let's help each other, and doesn't matter how bad is our particular situations, thinking of how you can make the lives of other people easier, because if everyone tries to think this way, there will be a slightly easier place to live. Let's say if you're ordering something from another company and the delivery is slow or the response rates are slow, the service is not as good as before, or something is missing, it's not the time to complain, it's time to understand this is how things are for meanwhile, and it's not the reason to stop using some services. This is the times where we can practice our patience and understanding. And at the same time, if you are the one who has to pay for something, and unless you're completely out of money, take your responsibility and pay. Pay to your suppliers if you're a business, and if you can't pay, pay to other people whom you owe money, because those people might be struggling, and as much as you think, oh, I'm struggling right now, there might be other people and businesses who are struggling more, because we don't understand how the situation gonna be continued. Maybe the whole thing gonna last longer, and maybe now we think oh, it's so hard to find money to pay rent, but maybe next month it's gonna be even more complicated, so we don't want our debt to be growing bigger and bigger. So I guess these are my tips for this particular situation. These are the things I'm trying to be conscious about every day when I go about my day. And as I usually say, there is no one solution fits all. Just be conscious and choose the right solution for you, but also being mindful. Everyone stay safe, stay cheerful, stay calm, and carry on. And see you next week. Bye-bye. For those of you who are wondering what I'm doing outside, in the place where I live, we are allowed to be outdoors if we avoid contact with other people, if we don't do unnecessary long trips. And I am blessed to be living in the walking distance to this particular dog beach. So it's not closed. People are allowed to come here if they're walking their dog. That's why my dog is somewhere there chilling in the sun.